Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are diving headfirst into the Sandbox.
Ooh, sounds fun.
It is. Specifically their cryptocurrency Sandy, which has been making some pretty big waves recently.
I heard about this, yeah.
You know how people are always talking about making money in the metaverse?
Right.
Well, get this. There's this guy, we'll just call him Voxel King. He's actually making a living designing stuff in the Sandbox.
Wow.
Like real income, not just
Like side hustle money.
Exactly. And that's just one example of how this platform is like totally changing the game.
Literally.
Literally. So today, we're going to break down exactly what makes the Sandbox tick, why its token sand like suddenly just exploded in value, and then what this all means for the future of...
And profit.
You got it. Our source material today is a recent price analysis report, but we're going to go way beyond just the numbers.
Okay.
Because I've got our amazing expert here who can help us, connect the dots between the data and the actual real world impact of this whole blockchain gaming thing. It's huge.
I know, right? But okay, before we get into Sand's crazy ride on the charts, let's just start with the basics.
Sure.
What exactly is the Sandbox? Because I keep hearing about all this digital real estate and, virtual experiences and stuff. But it kind of all sounds like...
Sci-fi.
Yeah, a little bit.
It might sound futuristic, but it's actually already happening. Sandbox is basically a virtual world built on blockchain technology. But the thing that makes it really unique is that it's all about user-generated content. So players can create things, own them, and even make money from them.
Okay. I'm with you so far, but I need a real-world comparison.
Okay.
To really wrap my head around this whole creating and owning digital stuff.
Yeah, it's fair.
What's a good analogy?
Okay, think of it like digital Legos, but way cooler.
Okay. I like where this is going.
You can build anything you can imagine. Games, immersive experiences, virtual art galleries, even whole cities. And the best part is, you actually own what you create.
Yeah. It's yours. It's all backed by blockchain technology. You can trade it.
Yeah.
Sell it. Or just enjoy it in your own little spot in the metaverse.
Oh, wow. So it's like my childhood dream come true, but with the potential to actually make money.
Pretty much.
I love it. All right, so let's talk about Sands then. The cryptocurrency that fuels this whole thing, it recently saw a massive price surge with a 24-hour trading volume of almost $5 billion.
It's wild.
I know. So what triggered that kind of frenzy?
Well, a few things are going on here. First, there's just the general hype around blockchain gaming right now. It's this exciting new frontier.
Yeah.
Combining the fun of gaming with actually being able to earn money.
Right, like our friend Voxel King.
Exactly.
That play-to-earn model is definitely shaking things up.
It is.
I'm actually really curious to dig into that more later.
We'll definitely have to get to that. But yeah, back to the price surge. That huge trading volume, that just shows a massive surge in interest and demand for Sand. Some investors are genuinely excited about the Sandbox's long-term potential. So they're buying in early. And then, of course, you've got the speculators. They're always looking for the next big thing, so they're hopping on the bandwagon, too. And that's just driving the price up even more.
So it's a mix of people who really believe in it, and then, good old-fashioned FOMO.
Yep, fear of missing out.
I get it. Okay, well, speaking of the price, let's look at what the analysis says about Sand's recent performance. What are the key takeaways here?
All right, so the report highlights a recent high of $0.86 for Sand, which is actually a yearly high. And that was followed by about a 14% dip. But pullbacks like this are pretty common after such fast growth.
Makes sense.
It's like sand is taking a little break,
Catching its breath.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before it potentially climbs higher.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Then the report also talks about these things called resistance and support levels.
Okay.
And they're kind of like psychological barriers.
Oh, interesting.
In the price chart. So for sand, 0 and 86 and $1, those are key resistance levels. It needs to break through those to continue going up. And then on the other side, you've got support levels at 0 and 72 cents and 61 coal cents. And those could act as safety nets if the price drops.
So it's like a floor and a ceiling.
Yeah, kind of.
Interesting.
These levels are really important because they often signal changes in momentum.
Gotcha. Now you know. I think our listener wants to really understand all of this.
Of course.
So can we break down some of these terms a bit more?
Sure.
Because the report also mentioned an overbought RSI.
Right.
I'm sure that sounds
Gibberish.
to a lot of people.
Yeah, probably.
So can you break that down for us? What does that even mean? And why should our listener care?
Yeah, so RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. But you could just think of it like a thermometer for the stock's price. An RSI above 70 means things are getting kind of hot, maybe even feverish. And a cool down, meaning a price drop, is probably coming.
Okay, so Sand's running a little hot right now, with an RSI of 87.18.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
So what does that tell us?
It suggests that sand might be a bit overvalued right now, like a rubber band that's stretched too tight.
Oh, I get it.
It's likely to snap back at some point, meaning a price correction is a real possibility. The report also pointed out this thing called selling pressure, which could also be contributing to this.
Okay. Selling pressure. That sounds kind of scary.
It can be.
So what's happening there?
Well, basically, a bunch of those older sand tokens, the ones that have been sitting around for a while, those were recently moved and sold, which could mean that the people who got in early, they're crashing in on their profits. And when that happens, it can create downward pressure on the price because more people start trying to do the same thing.
So it's like a classic case of buy the rumor, sell the news.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, so we've got all this excitement around the Sandbox, especially
Yeah.
that play-to-earn model. But then we've also got these signals that maybe,
Things have gotten a bit ahead of themselves.
yeah, at least in the short term.
Right.
But the question on everyone's mind is, can sand actually reach $1?
Mm-hmm. That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think to answer that, we need to look at both the short-term and the long-term perspectives.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's play both sides.
Oh, yeah.
What does the short-term outlook look like for sand based on what we've seen in the analysis?
Right. So in the short term, for sand to hit that $1 mark, it really needs to break through that $1.86 resistance level we talked about. And we need to see that selling pressure decrease.
Okay.
If selling keeps dominating, sand might drop down to those support levels, 72 cents, or even $1.61.
So short term,
Yeah,
it's a bit of a nail biter.
it is.
Could go either way.
It's for sure.
But what about the long-term view? Does sand have what it takes to go beyond $1 and become a major player in the crypto world?
That's where things get really interesting. If the Sandbox keeps growing its user base, and this whole blockchain gaming wave keeps going, I think getting past $1 is definitely possible.
Wow.
And one of the main reasons for that is the play-to-earn model, which we talked about a bit earlier.
Right. That play-to-earn model is what really makes the Sandbox different.
Definitely.
It's not just about speculation. It's about a fundamental shift in how we think about gaming and virtual ownership.
Totally agree.
But I think this deserves a deeper dive.
Yeah, let's do it.
Can you explain what makes this model so potentially transformative, not just for the Sandbox, but for the entire gaming industry?
So imagine a world where gamers actually own their in-game items. And they can trade them or sell them however they want.
Okay.
And imagine creators getting directly rewarded for their contributions.
That would be huge.
That's the promise of play to earn.
It's like it flips the script on traditional gaming.
It does.
It's not just about playing for fun anymore. It's about participating in a virtual economy.
Exactly. It turns players into creators and stakeholders. They can build things, make money from their creations, and participate in the in-game economy using sand. It empowers players in a way we've never really seen before.
That's really cool. Okay, so we've got this potential for long-term growth because of that play-to-earn model. But let's get back to the numbers for a second. Our price prediction section outlines 3 possible scenarios for Sam's future. Can you walk us through those?
Absolutely. So first we've got the bullish case.
Yeah.
Which is like the good news scenario.
Sure, yeah.
If sand breaks through that $1.86 AL resistance level and demand stays strong, we could see a rally toward $1 or even $1.10.
So that would be some pretty significant gains
It would.
for the people who believe in sand.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what about the neutral case? What would that look like?
In that case, we'd probably see sand consolidating between $1.72 and 86 cents, basically finding a stable range before making its next big move. Think of it like taking a break, gathering strength for the next climb.
Right. It can't just go up forever.
Nope.
Okay, well, we also have to consider the bearish case, which I imagine is what some people are worried about.
Yeah.
What could trigger a downturn for sand?
The bearish case would involve that selling pressure continuing and pushing sand down to that $1.61 support level.
Okay.
This could happen if the whole crypto market takes a hit, or if investors lose confidence in blockchain gaming.
Gotcha. So 3 very different scenarios.
Yeah.
Each with its own, drivers and potential outcomes.
Uh-huh.
It's a good reminder that investing in anything.
Especially crypto.
Yeah, especially crypto. It comes with risks. But beyond the price predictions, let's zoom out for a minute.
Oh.
Why does the Sandbox and this whole concept of blockchain gaming, why does it matter? Why should our listener who might not be a hardcore gamer or like a crypto enthusiast. Why should they even care about this?
That's a great question. I think the sandbox matters because it represents this convergence of several really powerful trends: gaming, NFTs, and cryptocurrency, all within a single platform.
Wow.
It's like this little microcosm
Yeah.
of the bigger shift towards decentralized technologies and user ownership. That's happening across like every industry now.
So it's bigger than just games.
Way bigger.
It's about the future of digital ownership
Wow.
and how we interact with online spaces.
Exactly.
And the impact on the gaming industry could be huge.
It could.
We've already talked about how play to earn is changing the game. But what other implications do you see?
Well, imagine a world where gamers truly own their in-game items and they can trade or sell them freely. And imagine creators getting directly rewarded for what they contribute to the gaming world.
It would change everything.
It would. That's the promise of blockchain gaming. And the Sandbox is one of the platforms leading the way.
It's a pretty compelling vision, one that could like reshape not just gaming, but like the whole creator economy.
Totally.
And it all comes back to that unique aspect of the Sandbox, where users can not only play games, but also create and earn.
It's incredible.
It's like a virtual world with a built-in economy.
Yeah.
Where your imagination actually has real value.
I love that. And that's what makes it so disruptive.
Yeah.
It's not just about playing. It's about participating,
Yeah.
building, and owning a piece of the virtual world you're a part of.
It's powerful.
It is. It's about giving users a voice in shaping the future of entertainment.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from Sand's price movements and the different scenarios to the bigger implications of blockchain gaming and the Sandbox's unique play-to-earn model.
For sure.
Before we wrap up, I want to make sure we highlight the key takeaways for our listeners. So, like, what are the main things our listeners should take away from all of this?
Okay, so the Sandbox, it's a blockchain-based gaming platform with its own cryptocurrency, which has seen this like massive surge in price lately.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
This surge is being driven by a few things, like the increasing interest in blockchain gaming in general, speculation about Sand's future potential,
Yeah, right.
and its really unique play-to-earn model.
Yeah, we can't forget about that. So
Yeah.
basically, while there might be some like short-term ups and downs.
Volatility.
Yeah, exactly. The long-term outlook for Sand could be
Really positive.
if the Sandbox continues to grow.
And if the blockchain gaming trend keeps going strong.
Okay, so before we let you go,
Sure.
I want to leave you with something to think about. We've talked about all this amazing potential of the Sandbox,
Right.
but one thing that I keep thinking about is like accessibility. You know,
I see what you mean.
what if virtual land and resources become concentrated in the hands of just a few
Wealthy players.
or corporations? Then how can we make sure that the Sandbox is actually empowering everyone?
That's a really important point.
It is. Like, how do we make sure it benefits a diverse community of creators?
From all walks of life.
Exactly. I think that's a challenge that the whole blockchain gaming space needs to figure out.
As it grows.
Yeah, for sure. It's something I'm going to be watching closely.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the Sandbox.
It's been fun.
It has. It's a world full of possibilities, and we can't wait to see what happens next. Until next time.
Okay, so before we let you go, let's do a quick recap of what we've learned about the Sandbox.
That's good.
It's this crazy blockchain-based gaming platform where you can not only play games, but you can create and own your own digital assets.
Yeah.
And it's all powered by their cryptocurrency Sandbox, which has been all over the news lately because of that huge price surge.
Yeah, it's been wild.
And while there might be some short-term volatility, the long-term potential is what's really got people excited.
For sure.
Especially when you think about that play-to-earn model. We've talked about how it's already letting creators like Voxel King earn a living doing what they love.
Yeah. But it also makes you wonder about the future of gaming and digital ownership and even the creator economy as a whole.
It's definitely a game changer.
It is. Now, I know you're really plugged into the crypto world.
I try to be.
So I want to leave you with one final thought, something to really think about. We've talked about all this amazing potential of the Sandbox,
Yeah.
but there's one thing that I keep coming back to, and that's the question of accessibility. Like, what if all that virtual land and those resources end up in the hands of just a few wealthy players or corporations?
Right.
How do we make sure that the Sandbox is actually empowering a diverse community of creators?
That's a tough one.
It is. How do we make sure it benefits people from all walks of life.
Yeah, that's a challenge for the entire blockchain gaming space.
It is, and it's something that we all need to think about as this technology keeps developing.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us for this depth dive into the sandbox.
My pleasure.
It's been awesome exploring this world with you, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. To all our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in. Keep on exploring, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.